The speaker to begin this afternoon's session has degrees in civil engineering with a focus in structural, in engineering mechanics, which is also known as applied physics, and a PhD in materials engineering science, which as far as I have been able to discern are the disciplines that are most directly relevant to evaluating what actually happened to the Twin Towers and at the World Trade Center in general. She's a former professor of mechanical engineering at Clemson University who appears to have been denied tenure because of her involvement in 9/11 research. In my opinion, she is the single most qualified scientist to be studying these issues. Please join me in welcoming Judy Wood.
Well, hello, and thank you for coming, and thanks for being here. 9/11 has been referred to as the new Pearl Harbor, but I beg to differ on that. I don't think it's the new Pearl Harbor. It's the new Hiroshima. It's the new Hiroshima. Now, which terrorist group did that? Let me talk about this. Kind of wiped out everything. But what about the day before Hiroshima? Would anyone have thought that could have happened? Someone posted this message on a forum on the web, and I think it's just beautifully stated. We stand at the beginning of a new age. Our government has in its hands a method of disrupting the molecular basis of matter, and its first impulse was to weaponize it. Is this so hard to understand? Like splitting atoms to create destruction was so hard to understand in 1945. Of course, this new invention came when the United States ruled supreme. A weapon system of vast new power comes online, and we don't have an enemy worthy of it. So naturally, we use it on ourselves. Wag the dog. Molecular dissociation. What I would like to do today is show you the evidence, the data, and let you make up your own mind. Let you think for yourself. And there's nothing more important in this day and age than each of us thinking for ourselves and making up our own mind, but looking at the data ourselves. So let's start at the beginning. Once upon a time, there were two towers. And we notice with these two towers, you have, see if the mouse moves on the screen, yeah. And there's this Tower 3 down here, which is 22 stories tall. This itty-bitty thing down here is Building 6, which is 8 stories tall. Then Buildings 4 and 5 are 9 stories each. But these are huge buildings. The 47-story Building 7. Huge buildings. Big, beefy core structures, columns on the outside with the floors strapped between them. Very robust. So, if you have, if this is thought of as a tree, and you cut a hole in the side of the tree so the Keebler elves can put their cookie oven in there and cook or live in there, do you think that would affect the structure? We see many trees with a hole in the side. The beauty of this design is that it just almost insignificantly would affect the strength. So there we have the towers, and then they went away. What happened? That's what we're here to figure out. In this picture on the left, we're looking at Building 7, so we know what day this picture was taken. Where did the tower go? The day before, if you took this picture, you would have a tower between the camera person and Building 7. Where'd it go? They have told us that steel was shipped off to China. Well, this picture appears to have been taken before noon on 9/11. Just how fast could they ship it off to China? So let's think about what we're being told. And this is what it looked like a week or so later. This is a satellite image of Ground Zero. You notice Building 6 here with the cutouts in it. Cylindrical cutouts. They go all the way down to the ground floor, all about the same diameter, about 24 feet in diameter. And the thing that caught my attention the most is this hole over here on Liberty Street. Tower 2 used to be located here, and there's Bankers Trust. That's Liberty Street that runs between the two. Why would there be a big hole in the middle of the street? And it looks like it could go down 60 feet, and it's empty. Where's the rest of the rubble? And just how fast did it disappear? I will not say collapse, because there's evidence that not much of it hit the ground. If you dropped a billiard ball off the roof of one of the towers, it would take 9.22 seconds to hit the ground. The seismograph showed the ground rumbled for 8 seconds. Houston, we have a problem. But what about all of the energy requirements? Now, there's a lot of opposition to what I present, which is mainly data. But folks who oppose seeing the data or having anyone else see the data say, well, it's impossible to have enough energy to do what you're saying got done. Well, then we should still see some buildings standing there. But the energy is an issue. There's different forms of energy. And if we look at this fourth one, that doesn't work so well. This fourth picture, that is one of the towers. This is a nuclear test. These other two are Mount St. Helens. What do we have in common with all of those pictures? Dust. Lots of dust and lots of power. A huge release of energy. So here we have the towers, and we're looking from the right-hand side. So I can move this tiny bit here. We're looking from over here at the towers. Here's the Bankers Trust building. We're just about eye level with Bankers Trust. And we're going to look straight across at that elevation, which is about the rooftop level of Bankers Trust, how far that is from the ground. And here's that image from that eye level. What is all of this? That's about 2/3 of Tower 2. Do you believe me? We're missing 2/3 of Tower 2. It hasn't hit the ground yet. Bankers Trust is a 40-story building. This tower was 110 stories. Where did it go? I call this the snowball picture. That snowball cannot account for 2/3 of the building. And again, there's that elevation. So what about the seismograph? Well, there was a 2.4 magnitude earthquake earlier that same year in January, and this is what the chart looked like. But when the second tower, quote, collapsed, according to the USGS, this is the chart. A whole lot smaller. I don't know if there was filtering or what, but it's kind of unbelievable that you drop two 110-story buildings, 500,000 tons each, and it doesn't even make the same seismographic signal as a 2.4 earthquake earlier that year. We also have Building 7, which they said was a 0.6 on the Richter scale. You know what 6.6 on the Richter scale is equivalent to? A jackhammer. So you have a 47-story building disappears without, tickling the ground more than a jackhammer would. A little bit strange. And here's where our 2.3 magnitude is. The towers were 2.3 and 2.1 for the north and south towers. And that's just barely over the equivalent of a quarry blast. Does that make sense?